Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to today's science class. We are in chapter 5, it is separation of substances, and today we are going to understand the process of evaporation. Now, before we start today's topic, let's have a quick recap of things which we have discussed in the last class. In the last class, basically, we had a Zoom session where uh, a video was shown regarding the methods of separation such as hand picking, threshing, winnowing, and sieving. And then later on, I also shared the link in the group. So I hope you have seen that video or you have watched that video, and hopefully you have understood these four methods nicely. So let's start today's topic. So So what is evaporation? So it is a process of conversion of water into its vapor. It's called evaporation. And this process of evaporation takes place continuously wherever water is present. Now, the process of evaporation continuously takes place wherever water is present. That means the water bodies such as sea or ocean, the water is evaporated continuously, and that is the reason of formation of water cycle. So if evaporation wouldn't have happened, then there would not have been any water cycle formed. So basically this is one of the reason of the continuation of that water cycle. So this process happens at all the temperature. Now changing of water into its vapor can be done with the process of boiling as well, but remember, boiling is not same as evaporation. Boiling happens only when the water is heated up to a temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. So when that heat the water is heated till 100 degrees Celsius, then the water becomes, or that water changes into vapor. So that is called boiling, because water is heated up to a temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. But in case of evaporation, water is not being heated uh, up to 100 degrees Celsius. Below 100 degrees Celsius also it takes place. In fact, it takes place below 100 degrees Celsius only. So evaporation can take place at all temperatures, whereas boiling takes place only when the temperature reaches 100 degrees Celsius. So that is the basic difference between evaporation and boiling, and that is the reason we don't see any bubbles formed. Now in this picture, this is a process of evaporation where you can see uh, an important point, like the vapor pressure here is less than the atmospheric pressure, but in case of boiling you will find it is equal to the atmospheric pressure. And one more thing is written, bubbles cannot form. So we don't often see any bubbles forming on the water surface, or we can't see any bubbles coming out in the glass jar which is kept outside in the sunlight, but continuously the evaporation goes on. Whereas when we boil water, we clearly see the bubbles coming out. So that is also one of the difference we can say between evaporation and boiling. So this is about evaporation process. Now let us talk about few examples of evaporation. So the common example which we use in our day-to-day life is the drying of clothes under the sun. So one of the most common real life examples of evaporation is drying of clothes under the sun. When the wet clothes are put under the sun, they get heated up, resulting in the evaporation of water particles present in the wet clothes, and that makes the cloth what dry. So when we put the clothes under the sun, what we see, we observe that after 2 or 3 hours the clothes get dried up. Why? Because the water molecules present in the uh, cloth gets evaporated, and so the clothes become dry. So that is a common example where the process of evaporation is used. Then also preparation of common salt. So even common salt is prepared using the same process of evaporation. So preparation of common salt is also a widespread example of the evaporation. The seawater goes under the evaporation, which results in the formation of salt crystals. So here you can see a picture uh, of evaporation of seawater, which goes through various stages to form to get the water crystals. So the water is collected in some chambers. These are some chambers, and then they are put uh, under the sun, and uh, after let's say 1 or 2 days or 3 days, the water gets completely evaporated and the salt is left behind, and that salt is further filtered to get the eatable salt. So that salt now can be used. So the various process uh, takes place in order to get that common salt. So after evaporation, filtration is done, then purification is done. So there are different processes uh, through which it goes before it comes to the market. So the seawater is evaporated, and then we get the common salt. So this is also one of the examples of what evaporation in our day-to-day life. Now let us discuss some of the factors that may affect the process of evaporation, or we can say the rate of evaporation. So following are the factors that affect the process of evaporation. So what are the factors? Number one, temperature. So as the temperature increases, the rate of evaporation also increases. So with increase in the temperature, the rate of evaporation or the process of evaporation becomes faster, or it increases. The rate of evaporation increases with increase in temperature. Similarly, if the surface area increases, the rate of evaporation increases. Now let's say if you take 50 ml of water in a small glass tumbler having radius of, let's say, 2 centimeter, and you take another 50 ml of water and you keep in a plate whose radius is, let's say, 10 centimeter, then we will observe that the water in the plate evaporates faster compared to the water in that glass tumbler of radius 2 centimeters. Why? Because the surface area of the plate is more compared to the surface area of the glass tumbler, and that is why we can say that the rate of evaporation increases with increase in surface area. But on the other hand, uh, with humidity, the rate of evaporation decreases. That means when there is too much of moisture in the atmosphere, the evaporation process becomes slow. That's why on a humid day, if you put the clothes outside, it takes longer time to dry, and that happens because the rate of evaporation decreases with an increase of humidity. So these are some of the factors that that affects the evaporation. And again, you will be getting these factors in detail when you will reach class 9, because again it is there in class 9 as well. So this is all about evaporation. So I hope you have understood. So please read the book. You will understand better, and try to underline few of the points like definitions and important examples which are given in your textbook. So please read it, and then write. I will be sharing the PDF of this PPT, so please write the important notes as well. So that's all for today's class. So thank you, my dear students.